Okay, good evening. It's 7 o'clock. We have a quorum. We'll call the planning board meeting to order. First up for general information is Michael Pereira.
Yes. My name is Michael Pereira. I'm the owner of the Dunkin' Donuts that's inside the Phillips 66 gas station. And I'm planning on closing that location to go into the Donut Man. I've already talked to the landlord already. We've already got a lease already signed already. I've got blueprints here showing the exterior of the building.
Okay.
3 copies here.
You got a lease here, you said?
Yes.
You got a copy with you?
I do not know. I do not believe.
That brick?
That's the same brick that's there right now, yes. That's the existing that's there right now.
Okay.
Next page, I'll show you. It's the proposed. This is what's there right now. This is what the next page we would like to. So really, what you're seeing here on this side is the pylon sign. We're looking at staying with the existing pylon sign. The only thing that we're changing is the existing facial on it. The frame will stay the same. Even the bottom of the pylon sign will stay the same as well. And then also on the left-hand side corner, that is the drive-through, usually Dunkin' Donuts drive-through menu board.
Who is that going to be?
It's going to be, it'll be the same place where the existing is right now.
Oh, okay.
So that's it. And then also that I might say here, the windows that are on the building right now are pretty old. So I would like to also replace them with new ones, and they'll look exactly the same.
If it's the same, you replace it with the same, that's not a big deal.
Okay. And then again, the roof, I believe the landlord said he's going to be changing the roof, stay exactly the same as well too, but he wants to put a new roof on it. And I'm looking at, again, keeping the existing brick that's there right now. So that's this side of the.
You're not touching the brick at all?
No.
Yeah. Well, what's with the different colored chimney?
Yeah, I'll show you on the next page. Okay. Again, this is the existing right now. This is what it looks like. The next page. This is the front of the building. You see the street. This is the proposed. Again, same thing. Changing the new windows, and then the doors, same thing. The only thing that with the doors, you just get new doors as well. And then what you see is the brick that's there right now. If we can put that model off there with the Dunkin' Donuts logo, we can make it look like a Dunkin' Donuts.
How many signs are you putting on the building?
Just one on the building. Well, there's right now one on the building in the front, and then this is the side here with the drive-through. And there's a sign there right now, but we're looking at just changing that into a Dunkin' Donuts.
How many square feet are these signs?
I'm not sure about whatever's allowed by the town.
You don't have no sign on the chimney now, right?
Correct. Yeah, there's no sign there.
You know, you couldn't get more historical district than this.
Yeah, this.
I mean, this is really the center of the historical district, and
I don't.
you know, this is kind of like the Citgo sign. The Donut Man guy was kind of the Citgo sign. He's been there so long, but allowing new signage right in the center of town, I'm not sure
the
that.
The signage, if it complies, it complies. But this is essentially the essential logo. This background is essentially your logo, which we consider your sign. Part of the sign.
So this thing would be considered the sign.
Correct, because it's Dunkin' Donuts logo colors.
Okay.
This would be permitted as long as it's within the square footage.
Got it.
So this would have to stay brick.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Is that basically correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So you have, what is it, 64 square feet of signage which you can, on the building,
Yeah.
which you can break up.
Okay.
Yeah, now, you got 29 square feet, but at 29.7 square feet. Is that this or total, or what is this? Not clear.
I believe it's total.
Okay. And
Is this going to be illuminated?
Yes.
external?
Right now it's showing internal right now.
not
No.
permitted,
So external. So
external.
external, it'll be.
Externally. Now, what you can do is you can backlight.
Okay.
You know, backlight it.
I do not know, but I can definitely.
What it is, this is a solid sign, and instead of having lights shining on the sign, the light is behind the sign, so it gives like a halo effect.
Okay, okay, I get it.
It lights it up better at night,
Okay,
it looks nicer, and it's not obtrusive like an internally illuminated sign. There's a few of them that have it around. I'm trying to think. I think Texas Roadhouse is that. I'm not positive.
I'll take a look
And a
at that.
few
Yeah,
others.
I'll let them know as well too, John.
Okay. It actually, my opinion is, look, it's quite attractive, and it's also very subdued.
Okay.
But if some of us decide to play hardball with this sign because it's in a historical district, we may ask you to go to the Historical Society, see what they think. This is, not
Historical
like a
Commission.
sign on the other end of Route 9.
Historical Commission.
Although, bear in mind that we don't have separate signage rules for the historic district.
Correct, but nevertheless, we do have a little wiggle room.
Well, if he's not exceeding what's there, then what is the problem?
Well, that's Mike. He was the
Well,
first to bring it up.
The problem is visual contamination right in the middle of the historical district. That's what the problem is.
That's true, but if it complies, like Bill said, we don't
Yeah,
have
well-
a separate sign bylaw for
Yeah.
the different districts. If it complies,
I was just in Italy, not that I'm bragging, but there was actually a McDonald's in the center of one of these towns, and the M was about this big, okay? So there's ways people knew it was McDonald's. So,
As Jim was referring to, the different colored brick is, that's gotta go.
Got it, okay.
And any other sign, any other lighting around the windows, people have been slipping things in, like blue lights, a strip of lights around the window. Any of that?
No, Duncan's won't allow that.
Okay.
well, congratulations on your franchise. It's a great one. I mean, I hope you own some
What
stock.
is this above the window? Is
That
that?
is basically an awning over the window, just so when somebody is sitting there.
Well, an awning is fine, but the writing on the awning can't be.
Okay, so no writing on the awning. Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
And no,
And that's the only one that's got an awning. I believe the other side was not have it.
Okay.
what color is the awning gonna be?
It's like an orange. An orange paint.
So is that considered a visual?
That would probably be pushing it.
Pushing, what's he pushing?
Just to consider that a sign if it was just orange.
Are you gonna be kidding me? Orange canopy is the sign?
No, I said that would be pushing it if it considered a sign.
Oh. What the hell is this coming from?
So, okay.
And then the last thing that you really can't tell what they say, but if you look at the canopy, the drive-through window, if you look at the canopy, it is, we moved it about one car's length. So if you see where it is right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. You can see it right here, we actually moved it more to inboard, just so we can get more of a car stack. And again, everything will look exactly the same, we're just moving the canopy.
It'll be centered on a building?
Yes, it'll be more centered to the building,
I
yes.
I personally don't see that as anything.
What, is this another sign?
Yes, there's one there right now, the Donut Man sign there right now, so we're looking at just taking that out and then we're putting that one there. I believe the one that's right now is also illuminated, the interior.
Well, are we gonna, does this qualify as a corner lot, or does it qualify as this sign and this sign cannot exceed 64 square feet?
Correct.
Total.
Okay.
No, in other words, this one can be 64, and this one
And if
can't.
it's a corner lot?
Correct. Okay.
Corner lot doesn't matter. The law specifically says one sign per
You can
building.
divide up the 64 square feet.
Right. Just make sure, I just can't go over 64. Is that including also the pylon sign as well,
No,
too?
pylon sign is separate.
It's separate, okay. Okay, so I can just not go over 64, got it. Okay. Okay.
I'm just curious, have you ever, has Dunkin' Donuts ever had Dunkin' Donuts facilities in towns that kind of change the nature of the signage? And you don't have the traditional Dunkin' Donuts signing, but perhaps something just DD or...
They must. They
Yeah,
must, I'm
yeah.
sure.
Just because of the place this is, right in the center of the historical district, would you be averse to looking at that and seeing if, would that be a possibility
I
or
can
not?
bring it back to them.
Yeah.
Obviously, they would.
Sure.
You mean, you got a couple of those?
Yeah, just curious, just curious. Just curious. Yeah. Just curious, just tell them it's right in the smack dab center. I mean, you got the library across the street. You've got the town hall there. You've got the historic Russell School, and we've got a Dunkin' Donuts. You can see what the issue is.
So, when you come back, all we like, really, besides taking out the colors of the chimney, would be just put the square footage of, where'd they go? Of the chimney sign on there, just to verify on the drawing that, where are we? Just the square footage of that and the square footage of that. I mean, although it says right
This
on
one is just .3 for this one.
Yeah, that's why I just want to make sure that this total is included in the 29 plus 7. You've already got that one written down, that's all set.
Okay. Now, again, also the square footage does also include the drive-through menu board as well, too, the 64.
Well, the menu boards kind of fall into a gray area in that the way we've been treating them, this is your sign, the menu boards are more of a directional sign because you're not advertising them to the street. And as long as there's no big sign on there that says Dunkin' Donuts, but it's just a regular menu sign, it's exactly what we can, that's the way we've been treating them to McDonald's and everybody else, okay?
Okay. Got it.
As long as, if this looks just like this without any kind of logos on the front or the back to advertise Dunkin' Donuts, then we don't consider it a sign. It's kind of
It looks exactly like
kind
that.
of a,
Where is that going to be placed?
right where it is now. It's kind of like,
It's when you drive in, right on the curve.
it's right, you don't know the plot plan, do you? Right,
Yeah.
oh, right there, right on the corner, right there. If this is this sign, you come in, this is the entrance right here, right? And you drive around, the menu board is right there on the radius.
So these colors here are also a no as well, too, then?
Well, no, because if this is 32 square feet,
Okay.
we would consider this part of the sign, but this and this don't look like they're going to exceed 64 square feet.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And if this is, I don't know if that's 4 feet, I doubt it, more like 3, and that's 32, you're under 64.
Any idea who's going to move into your space in Phillips
I
66?
have no idea. No idea. I also have interior, interested in looking at that.
We're not concerned about the interior, that's the building inspector.
Okay. Okay, all right, so I will come back with those changes then. Well, do you think I would need to go to the historical district to have them take a look at?
If you can,
I know I'm taking this out, so I'm not really gonna have.
right, if they happen to, if you can get on their agenda before our next meeting, which will be in 3 weeks, that would be great, just to give them as a matter of courtesy, that's what I want to do.
Sure.
If you don't make it, then it's probably not the end of the world, okay?
Okay, so within 3 weeks, you guys are meeting?
Well, it'll be week the first and third Tuesday.
Okay.
So we just happen to have, this happens to be a 5 Tuesday month.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, I will do that. Take these back, or do you guys see
Yes,
them?
yeah, go ahead.
Although we would appreciate your sending us a PDF of the final plan,
Absolutely.
final design. And the email address is on the town website on the planning board page.
Okay. We'll do that. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Chris?
Okay, I noticed some people walked in. We've canceled a couple of meetings. So are you here? Which one are you here for?
We're interested in the solar project on
Okay,
Which one?
Moody Bridge and South Maple.
That's off until May 6th.
There was
or June 6th.
there was a mistake in the posting of the agenda, and it was actually posted for last Thursday. and the meeting was tonight, so we're afraid, because it might be a bit of a contentious issue, that we want to make sure that it's posted properly with the agenda, so the meeting will be, in, just like I told the gentleman, in 3 weeks from tonight, we'll continue it to that one, okay? The Booty Bridge Solar one and the small subdivision on Middle Street.
But if you're interested in that project, and you've got other friends that are interested, I'd encourage you to ask them to come to the meeting. It's important.
So are there any other discussions of solar?
We have 2 other solar projects on tonight that were properly,
That were on the town warrant.
Yes, no, well, they were on the ones that were actually mailed out. Those are the ones, Hadley 3 North and South, which are near the mall, near Hampshire Mall, and the, not far from Winfield's.
yeah, those were the ones that were the subject of the pilot on the town meeting.
Those are tonight.
Those are tonight, if you want, you're welcome to stay. I just didn't want you to.
Do you have a place on map with where they are?
We would, that will come up when we have the hearing.
For the ones tonight, though, is there a map?
Yes.
There will be.
There will be.
Yes. Yep. Okay, Chris Carney?
Yeah. I'm Chris Carney. I'm here on behalf of our Levesque Associates in Westfield and Mr. Peter Delinas. I'm here to really submit a preliminary subdivision plan. I'm not sure if we need to be on the agenda for a future meeting for a preliminary subdivision or whether.
We will need to hold a review of the preliminary subdivision. You'll need to have the whole engineering review and everything else.
Sure,
Yes.
this is the preliminary subdivision package and 7 copies.
Okay.
Reviews.
Do you have,
5 applications.
can you open up this week? Where is it? and
Yeah.
What it's about?
Off of Shattuck Road, the northerly section of Hadley.
Okay.
Subdivision is an 8-lot subdivision with a cul-de-sac length of 850 feet, and it is primarily by right, according to subdivision regulations. We're requesting 2 waivers that are spelled out at the bottom. One of them is to change the scale of the plan from 40 scale to 50 scale. And the second one is regarding the horizontal curve. It begins 55 feet from the intersection of Shattuck Road, and subdivision regulations require that it starts 115 feet from the intersection of Shattuck Road.
Okay, so this is back in the woods. This is,
Outline here.
okay, I just want to get my bearings.
Yep.
Okay,
North of Bay Bear Lane.
yep, okay. Okay, so this is an 8-lot subdivision. That means you have to comply with the inclusionary zoning bylaw. Okay. Okay, good. Not any aquifer.
Now, the grading is certainly that's going to the west near the brook there. That'll be the critical question.
Drainage?
The drainage.
Yeah. So at this point, we're proposing a subsurface basin in the cul-de-sac. Handles stormwater from a high point, which is shown right between lot 1 and lot 3.
How can they get
We're
away
sloping
with
up to a high
151
point,
feet here?
down to a low point
This
here.
is 151 frontage, but it's supposed to be 175. How can they get it just to a 151 there?
And then stormwater from the high point towards Shattuck Road will be handled in either a surface or a subsurface basin near Shattuck Road.
Okay, and then where is this going to leach to? Is this the pipe?
At this point, they're preliminary plans, so we haven't gotten into the specifics of where.
That'll be the critical question.
Absolutely.
Okay, so then you're going to have preliminary engineering review done by one of our reviewing engineers. You know how to do that, right? preliminary review of these plans by one of our reviewing engineers.
Peer review.
Peer review.
Yes. So we submit the copies to you and you pass
No,
them
no,
along?
you take care of that yourself. We don't want any part of, we don't want to be involved in the preliminary review because, or any of the engineering review. We really don't want to be the middle person. We want you to speak directly with them, so if there's a problem, they get back to you, you get back to them, et cetera, until the issues are cleared up, so that we just have a clean letter that says, okay, this looks good for a preliminary plan or definitive plan or whatever it might be.
I'm assuming you have a preferred.
We have a
engineer.
list,
Yeah.
so we'll get you the list.
Great. And is
Okay.
that for preliminary or for definitive subdivision?
It's reviewed for all the plans for compliance with zoning and for drainage and architectural, and well, not so much architectural, but drainage and compliance with zoning. Okay?
Where can I find more information on that peer review? The list of engineers.
We'll get it to you.
Great.
I'm assuming you work with it.
Yes.
Okay.
I've prepared these plans.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. You got an application someplace?
Yeah, there's 5 copies of an application here in the folder. Y'all looking for?
Do you have our application form?
I believe so. Form B?
Yeah.
Should be.
Oh, there's no notice, okay.
Okay. Yeah, there it is.
Okay. Oh, okay.
This will be our first subdivision under our newly adopted regulations, so we're all going to be learning from this.
Want to set a preliminary review date on this?
Sure, want to make sure we allow enough time for,
Well, June is full, so it'll be, July 4th is,
not going to happen. July 18th.
July 18th is the first open date.
July 18th it is.
Okay. And what is this called? Colony Estates.
He owns some farmland up
Board of
there.
Health. Should
Okay.
I run those over to Board of Health?
Yep, I'll bring them over.
You can.
You got 2 for the Board of Health?
That's what's written up in the.
Oh, really?
subdivision
Okay.
regulations.
This is 8 lots, right?
Correct.
You've had perk tests done?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oops. I just had it. Where was I? Okay. Oh, well, I lost the paperclip. Okay, we just bring one set of plans with the town clerk and the application and just the filing fee.
Actually, did she need since it's preliminary, does she even, we're not advertising this.
That's true. She does not even need a copy of the plan. That's right, because there's no outside review, just.
So what you will do is bring that form with a check in that amount to the town clerk.
Very good.
Any time between now and July 18th.
Very good.
Okay?
Like me to bring this whole application to the town clerk?
No, really just that page is all she needs. And did that. This is actually ours, right? I believe.
Yes. we have
Okay.
5 copies of that.
Okay. Yeah, she'll make a copy and should give us the copy of that page.
Would you like me to roll this up for you?
Sure. file.
this stuff too, Jim?
Well, you can, if you want to look at it, you can take it. You want to look at it?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this the new one? Okay, thank you. Lauren Harris?
Yeah, I dropped off copies of the plans.
Oh, yeah. This is just for the administrative review.
Yeah, the
We have-
tracker, the helical pile tracker, Susan Del Molino.
Right.
Yeah, 24 panel, 20 panel actually. Did you guys get this?
Is that a roof mount?
No, that's a ground-mounted panel, but it's one of those that rotates to the sun.
Dual axis.
Okay. We've received no comments.
What?
We have received no comments from any of the other boards.
You haven't seen this?
Yeah, let me take, yeah.
Yeah, we have to do the administrative review.
Right. Now, how is it going to be mounted to the ground? Is it going to be a big, deep pole, a pole mount?
Yeah, it's what's called a helical pile.
Oh, so there's one, the one you screw in?
Yeah,
Okay,
aluminum,
okay.
7 feet.
7 feet down?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
What's the actual weight of those things when they're hanging on that post?
I don't know. 'Cause it-
Oh, that's right. The
depends on what
panels are
panel you
about,
use.
I don't know. Do you know what the weight of the panels are? Roughly 8 panel?
The weight?
Or 1 panel?
Oh, I'm not sure the weight, no.
I'm going to guess, I'm trying to think my panels weighed about,
I guess 30 to 40 pounds.
I'm going to say it was around 30 pounds, 30, 40 pounds, sounds about right. Because I remember when I would deliver them from my house, I was surprised how light they were for the size of them. Just don't drop them.
You know what they're made of?
Yeah. Glass?
No, I'm just
Oh.
asking her. She doesn't know how much they weigh. I was curious if she knows what they're made of, if they're installing them.
No, there's silicone in it.
Well, you have two different groups going on here.
Okay. Oh, okay.
That's the environmental review team for the next project.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna concentrate on this one?
We're going to concentrate on this guy.
Yes.
Okay. So it has been distributed for interdepartmental review.
Color coding here.
We are taking timely action. General requirements, we got the right number of files. Is there a site plan in here?
Should have been. I dropped off copies for it. Maybe I dropped
Well, we
Yeah, the site plan was part of it.
There was?
Yes.
Okay, so there was a site plan. We have technical
How far is this
specs.
off the road? You know, how many panels are gonna be there?
24 panels. It's probably at least 140 feet from the road. I got a site plan I can show you. Oops, here's the road. It's over here.
The behind, what are they screened in at?
What's that?
What are they screened in so you can't see them from the road? Anything?
Well, you got a couple trees there, and then
This is, what's his name's old house? Andres, right?
I'm not sure.
Just cross it through.
No, the Del Molinos, this is my...
Oh, this is Del Molino's?
Yeah, this is Del
Oh,
Molinos. It was my grandfather's.
Across from your,
My
okay.
great uncles,
Okay,
across the street from the Tujins.
yeah. So you'd see it coming from this way, but from this way it's invisible. It's the houses and the trees pretty much hide it. And because it faces south, the back, all you're gonna see is, you won't see the panel from the backside to speak of.
So there's no one behind it.
Yeah. The nearest neighbor is, the nearest habitable neighbor has gotta be a mile away.
Well, the
across the
Tujins
street.
across the street.
Oh, across the street, I mean, across the street over there,
Are
yeah.
you gonna be able to see anything from going by the road?
No, not in front of it. There's a lot of trees there. Or big trees, right?
Yep.
Yeah, no, maybe?
No. I mean, maybe from way back here. Back there, but it's not going to look that. It's going to be small. It's going to blend in with it.
You're gonna be quite a ways. You're gonna be hundreds and hundreds of feet away from coming down
What's
River Drive.
grown there? What crop is grown there?
Strawberries. Various crops, squash, cucumbers, tomatoes.
That's an APR, that's not Del Molino's property. What you see in green, plus the field behind, the field to the east,
This side.
yeah, is Del Molino's.
So this is north.
Yeah, the
That's
north is, Psychowski owns it, it's an APR.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of this does not apply. Schematics, don't need those. We know she has liability insurance. We know she has site control. Utility presumably has been notified. This is en route. Have no land clearing impacts. Soil permeability is not an issue there. Wildlife corridors will not be an issue. Setbacks, 50 feet from the nearest property line, and except along Route 47, where it was set back at least 100 feet from the public way. And parking is not required. Okay, could I just see the...
The reason the setback from 47 to 100 feet is because it's a scenic byway?
It's a designated scenic byway by the
Really important.
the state and the federal government. Okay, so yeah, this orange, that's the structure. Okay, yeah. So it will be visible to some extent if you're coming south, but you should be keeping your eyes on the road and not looking off that far.
Plus, it's going to be this barn
Yep.
is higher
It will
than that.
be
It's going to kind of
completely invisible from the south because of the layout of the barns there and the trees. The person going north will not see it at all. The person coming south might see it a bit. Okay, so they satisfied the administrative review.
All we need is a motion to approve, right?
Yep, I'll do a motion to approve the installation.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
It's good to go.
Good to go. You can go right across the street to the building inspector and get a permit.
Tomorrow
Literally.
morning.
Yep. If you've got any questions, have him call Bill in the morning, which he probably would, but you're all set.
Yep.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Public hearings.
Do you need these, or are these extra?
Those are extra.
Okay.
Where is it? Someplace. Here we go. Hadley Planning Board will conduct public hearings on Tuesday, May 16th, 2016, beginning at 7:15 in the Hadley Senior Center Meeting Room. Purpose of the first hearing is to review the application of Hadley 3 Solar LLC for special permits, large-scale ground mount solar site plan approval, erosion and sediment control, and construction in aquifer for a proposed solar panel installation on Westgate Center Drive called Hadley 3 North. The second hearing is to review the application of Hadley 3 Solar LLC for special permits, wide-scale ground mount solar, site plan approval, erosion and sediment control, and construction in aquifer proposed solar panel installation off Russell Street, Mill Valley Road, near Green Leaves Complex, called Hadley 3 South. Did I get those called right, or did I get them reversed? They were close enough. I wasn't, when I'm putting it down, I only had one of the book in front of me, and I said, I hope I got these right north and south, so I could have had them reversed. But anyway, application and plans may be viewed in a town clerk's office during normal business hours, published twice in the Gazette, May 2 and 9. And just as I've never, when I got the mailing labels, I thought there was a mistake. I said, there's 6 pages of mailing labels. And that was because everybody in Green Leaves gets in a butter. I was like, whoa.
condo. Before you start, I have an announcement of a disclosure of appearance of conflict of interest as required by general laws, Chapter 268A, Section 23, which I'll just read. This application is for a solar installation on property owned by Allard Farms, Inc., which I am presently representing in litigation on another matter. The litigation is not related to anything before the planning board. And I'll just throw that in the file. So I will participate in the decision.
Thank you. My name is Colleen Puzes. I'm from SWCA Environmental. With me I have Belle Miller. She's my boss and the Natural Resources Team Lead. We have the lawyer on the project, Tom Weedy, Wayne Goulet, which you know already, and then Chris Clark. And I wish I knew the woman sitting next to her because they would just complete the audience. But pretty much I'll go through the north array first, and then the south array is pretty much the same except for the wattage and acreage as well as the access. But let's start. The north array is located in between the Hampshire Mall, just over here, and then the U.S. Fish and Wildlife headquarters. And then to the north of that is the Route 9, and then south is Farm Fields, which will possibly be the southern array. Right here we have the Maple Street, where the access is going to be coming in from.
Where's the bike path?
The bike path is just right out over here.
Okay.
Yeah. There's trees that shield these fields. So, yeah. So the access is from the Maple Street and heading into the property. It's already an existing road. And then it connects to another, or the access road for the south project. Actually, this is the south, that is the north, excuse me. So this is the West Center Drive for the north project, which is a 6.07 acres of land that's going to be taken up from the array on a approximately 10-acre site. The total wattage for that is around 2 megawatts DC power.
Is that significant?
Significant? I'd say so. I mean, it's something to add to
They're
that.
usually about 1 to 2 megawatts, and this one's a 2 megawatt.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So that's the existing conditions of the project. Pretty much right now it's the existing cornfield. Doesn't have a lot of shrubs or forbs or wildflowers on it, which we are proposing to have underneath the solar panels themselves. The maintenance of it is going to be pretty simple. Just occasional mowing, approximately 2 times a year, to prevent the grasses and the forbs from heading above the panels and shading them. During construction, we are going to have a couple of staging areas just south of the array, and just to store the equipment temporarily, but everything will be removed and then reseeded after everything's off-site. We did provide a stormwater report with our submission, just for the sake of the small inverters that are on the site, but the soils that are existing are actually pretty impervious right now because they're Class D. But for the most part, there isn't really going to be any stormwater runoff, and it could actually decrease from the existing because right now it's just corn. But for screening, we have there's already trees that are planted on the southern side of where the 2 arrays are going to be going, and then there's existing trees and a large berm where the Target or Hampshire Mall area is on the western side, and there's a large wetland and pond and forested area abutting the U.S. Fish and Wildlife headquarters. And then along the northern side is the same.
Yep, there's Target right there.
So that's existing conditions. I'm just going to run through the list to make sure I don't forget anything. We are asking for a waiver because the waiver of the 50-foot from the property line, just to get the maximum potential of the panels. And because there's going to be the 2 solar arrays. Actually, I'm going to try to, maybe I'll try to show them both at once here. So there's the second solar array is going to be right below it, and where the property line is, we would like to, like I said, have the maximum panels on the site. But besides that waiver, we are asking for the plan size requirements waiver, just to have the visualizations and be able to see the overall project. We wanted to make sure that, or that's why we're requesting the waiver itself from the 40 feet equals 1 inch. That's pretty much the north project. There isn't really any red flags.
So I perhaps just wasn't listening. You're accessing both projects from the existing service road, or are you accessing the north from Westgate Center?
Yeah, so we're accessing from the north from the Westgate Center.
Okay.
So both projects have their own separate access roads.
What's the line towards the bottom?
This one?
Yes.
The dotted line?
No,
This road?
The one coming, the dark line here. Right there, yeah.
This one?
Joe?
Okay, you got it.
Push push that.
This,
Yeah, so this is the existing access road I'll show you for the south project. That's coming off of so that's coming off of the Maple Street.
I think that's how they're accessing that field anyway.
Correct.
Yeah.
that's correct.
Yes, that's the existing road, it's going to be converted.
So that, my question was relatively the same as Bill's. So if you're talking about emergency equipment, fire trucks, et cetera, will they access this road, or will they access the road, the other one?
For the north project, they should be accessing this.
They'll be accessing
Can I
the,
address that?
Yeah.
The majority of the access to the site, both for construction and maintenance purposes, will be off of South Maple, the southern access. For interconnection purposes, we have the access out to Northgate Drive. So we're going to have poles going out to Route 9 via the Fish and Wildlife Building, Westgate Center Drive there. But the bulk of the access will be through the southern route across the existing access that Wayne uses.
so, okay, construction vehicles more likely come down here. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, there'll be shorter distance there, though. Doesn't matter.
Well, they can go either way, but they can also go down to the bottom there. They can use either way, basically.
So what's the total acreage of that site?
This site is 6.7 acres. That is going to be it's below the 10 acres.
So it's a 10-acre parcel, but you're a 6.7 acre array.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
And how much is the other one?
The other one is it's approximately 9 acres, and then that's on. I'm not sure of the total. It's on 45.8 acres.
What's going to be visible from the road of this project?
Let's take them one at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, forget that one. Concentrate on this one so we're not confusing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's pretty much the northern. If you guys have any other questions with that, I can move on to the southern.
No. We are 2 separate hearings.
Yeah.
We vote everything, we completely dedicate to this
Okay.
one so that we don't confuse ourselves with each other. So one at a time, please. So that, I know they're both similar and same, but I want to make sure we are clear on one versus, well, this is this is this. Just, okay, that's all.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure.
Just for the record, both of these received zoning variances granted by the Zoning Board of Appeals and filed today that solar arrays are according to the Hadley zoning bylaw, only allowed on ag residential and industrial zone land. The Zoning Board of Appeals granted a variance on November 18, 2015, and they apparently granted it again on April 10, 2017 to grant the request for a re-granting of the variance for solar array on business zone land. for both this project and the next one.
So they granted the variance. What was the language for granting the variance?
Right
Just
here.
curious.
Right here.
Oh, you got it.
Findings and general conditions. The two parcels off South Maple Street, both this relates to this zoning variance, combines them both. The two parcels off of South Maple Street and Westgate Center Drive are located in a business district as defined by the zoning bylaw. Large-scale solar arrays are not allowed in business district and are allowed only in ag res and industrial. The property is poor farmland and located adjacent to an industrial zone area. Owing to the circumstances related to the particular soil conditions, shape, or topography of the property, and especially affecting the property, a literal enforcement of the bylaw would involve substantial hardship to the applicants. The requested desired relief may be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and without nullifying or subsequently derogating from the intent or purpose of the bylaw. And the rest is just legal terms for as far as what actually means. But that was the reasoning for it, that it's basically poor farmland and et cetera.
So when we originally drafted the solar bylaw, the idea was we wanted to maintain business zoned land for bricks and mortar business. But this basically has no functional frontage, wet, surrounded by other businesses. So yeah, it functionally is business zone, business land. Or functionally is not useful for business.
Why not?
Because the
Pyramid, it's a ring road. Well, the Pyramid will not allow anyone access to their ring road. Not the Florence Savings Bank, not Wayne Goulet, not anybody. And that's what killed the development of this parcel. I would have developed it a long time ago, but I couldn't get access to their ring road. And it made this almost like landlocked. And after retail changed and Pyramid the place practically emptied out, then big boxes were gone, and what are you gonna do? So this is what we got. We got, just like you said, you know, there's no frontage on it, there's no sewer service. I don't know how you would develop it.
My question now is, what is visible from a road or other buildings to that array?
So it's not very visible from any of the places. 'Cause
Right.
like I said, there's the berm here, there's a forested wetland that's actually sloping upwards this way, and then there's the forested wetland and pond in the eastern part of this site. And then this is all forested down here to shield the whole farm fields across this area.
Can't they see this from the mall right here? This corner?
So this corner?
The northwest corner. Right there, down. The mall's here.
By Target.
Target's here.
No, because there's the berm there.
There's a what?
It's like a high berm. Almost
How high is it?
Well, definitely above 5'8", that's how tall I am.
It's a detention basin area off of Target, which created a berm, so you can't really see into the fields from there. So that's where all the stormwater goes.
that's also where all the cattails grow, right?
Right, yeah, and it's full of cattails, because that's where all the stormwater from the mall comes and goes into there. So it's sort of a berm detention basin. So from Target.
So you can't, from the parking lot here, you can't see that at all? You won't see it?
Oh, yes.
You might see it a little bit when they cut down the cattails. If you're standing on the edge of the berm and looking out that way, you probably could get a glimpse of it.
Are you the same outfit that did the other one for him on?
I have done other ones for him, yes.
Well, I get issue with that. Because of the...
Which one?
Of the scenery, the trees that were planted it's an insult that you guys plant trees like this there. How many years will that be to screen that array? 10 years, 15 years?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know how long it'll take for the tree to grow.
That's an insult.
Okay.
I take that as an insult.
Well, I'm sorry that you took it that way. We never permitted it that way to insult you. I mean,
It was supposed to be a screening. I don't know what that screening is for, rabbits or woodchucks. But it certainly ain't from the view of people going by there.
The bylaw says there should be adequate screening, and that's not adequate screening.
I think it all depends on location and who it's being screened from. If it's next to residential, you'd want it to be obscured.
We specifically said about the screening there. Don't change the story. I'm not happy with that at all. And you're not gonna be pulling that over here, what you did there.
Okay.
Like I said, there's already forest there, so, I mean, they're large trees too. And
That
shrubs.
forest green all year round?
Yeah.
Is
This
it?
part up here, definitely.
What are there, spruce trees there, or what are they?
It's spruce, red maples, pines.
Maples don't stay green all year round.
I mean,
What?
I don't know what to say about
Why
that.
would we need any screening there?
I don't know, I'm asking what's in sight. I'm sitting here looking at a piece of paper. I don't know.
I think that, first of all, there's no one from the mall here who's expressed any interest in screening at all.
These things are popping all over the place, and people are telling me they're disgusted with this. It looks like hell all over the town.
Okay, we can go to town meeting with that.
Yeah.
But what we have here is a requirement for adequate screening, which I interpret as adequate under the circumstances.
You
And
can interpret it
personally,
that way, I interpret it differently.
I don't see any purpose to be served by screening this from a mall parking lot. And I'd be happy just with a cyclone fence there.
I mean, there's nobody from the mall, the mall was notified of this, and there's nobody here. So anyways, okay.
Yeah.
Screening aside,
We are proposing a fence.
for a second. So the power is going to go out Westgate Center Drive?
Yeah, underground conduits are going on this way.
Okay. And the transformers and inverters and stuff will be right on a pad inside there?
Yeah, the inverter box is right in here, and then it'll be connected to a three-phase pole from there on Westgate Center Drive.
And fire truck entrance will be from Westgate Drive.
As well as this, but yeah.
You're not going to keep that plowed all winter, are you? Or are you?
We typically don't.
Okay. What would you need to get a fire truck in there for?
For electrical fire, I mean, that's, isn't that in part of our bylaw?
Well, yes, I'm just wondering what you'd need to, so the transformer could explode.
Did the fire chief comment on this plan?
No. Nope.
So I'm just thinking that, especially where this is located, if a transformer exploded there, presumably circuit breakers would cut it off from the main system. It would probably be consumed by the time anyone noticed.
Is this everything that someone can get hurt is fenced in here?
Yes.
How high is the fence?
7-foot fence.
I can also go through the general requirement document, the administrative review, that's easier. If you have any other questions. Nothing specific to that. Oh yeah, and we also, we sent this document to Doucette and Associates for peer review. We have some of the comments that we have some answers to some of the comments that they sent about a week ago.
So we did the back and forth with them, like you said. So they had a few things they wanted fixed. We fixed it, and their final letter documents that, so.
Which is the May 4th letter?
Yep.
Any estimate as to what the life of this solar field is going to be?
Approximately 20 years.
20-year base lifetime
Yeah, right.
with options to extend beyond that.
Right.
Yeah. I know for Doucette's peer review, they did mention a lot of the waiver requirements that we're asking for, say the plan size review, the plan size requirement. We did stamp the plans with the landscape architect. And then the zoning board of appeals approved the zoning change. And then they were talking about the stormwater runoff, but it's pretty much negligible for the most part because it's.
So what's going to happen in 20 years?
20 years the lease would be up, and they have the ability to extend the lease, or.
So you put new panels in?
If they needed it, they can upgrade it, or they would, if they didn't want it, they.
Removal bond, we can do it.
When you say they, who's they?
The owner of the array and the property owner.
Who's the owner of the array?
Nexamp owns this right now.
The Nexamp is a Massachusetts corporation?
Their office is in Boston.
You're going to hire Todd Ford?
I missed that one, but okay.
There is a removable bond,
which I think we've been doing at about 20,000.
That's the bond.
That's what we've been doing for others.
Do you have any other questions? You want me to go over anything? Or?
No, I mean, the set letter is pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Okay.
Careful about the mic because it sounds like heck at home. Move the microphone back so that you don't rub the paper too much on the microphone.
My question about what's going to happen in 20 years, Nexamp is supposedly going to be deciding what to do in 20 years, and none of us may be here any longer, but how old of a corporation is Nexamp? Is it recent? Or?
Chris Clark is with Nexamp.
Yeah.
Nexamp is a 10-year-old solar Massachusetts.
It's not public, is it?
It's privately held.
Yeah.
Veteran founded.
So we don't have any idea what the financial wherewithal of this corporation is.
Well, I can tell you, so we've been around for 10 years. That's a lifetime in this industry, I would say. As of this past summer, Mitsubishi Corporation took a near majority stake in the company, so we have significant backers behind us. I'd say our financial standing is strong, certainly relative to the population of solar companies that are out there. The other thing that makes
So where's our recourse, you or Mitsubishi?
We collect a removal bond at the time of application, or time of construction. So that is held by the treasurer.
For how long?
Until
life of the project.
Life of the project.
So it's open-ended?
Yeah, it's not like the performance security for completing a project. It is a removal bond to be sure that it gets removed.
So this bond is issued by some insurance company, correct?
It's cash.
Cash?
It's cash escrow.
Really?
Yes, it's supposed to be. Yep. Yeah, and then his road runs over.
Yeah, no kidding.
But then it goes up. I'm not sure.
Never expires.
Yeah, it runs around. Yeah, yes, that's the lower section, and then, yeah.
This is going to be the lower section.
Any other questions? Comments? Yeah, see it goes off of this is the bike path here, and then this is the existing gravel road, or dirt road, actually. They want to make it, you're going to take the existing dirt road and make it into gravel, is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
This is for the other one.
Right. We should.
So who negotiated the pilot for the town?
Nexamp?
You, yeah, the owner, yeah.
Okay.
Did they drive a hard bargain?
David Nixon drives a hard bargain. He's fair and reasonable at the end of the day.
Yeah, right, give me a break.
So why did you guys, I'm just curious, emerge 10 years ago? Why was it because of the technology improved or other economic tax benefits?
So, I mean, solar technology, I think, has been coming of age for a long time. 10 years ago, it started to become economic from a commercial standpoint.
Because of the tax benefits primarily?
That's a contributing factor.
So
certainly.
if the tax benefits changed completely, would you stay in this business? And would you be around to service this field?
Yeah, I mean, the tax benefits are kind of locked in at the point of financing the project.
Yeah.
And that's the point at which we would start to build the project. So we're not going to build a project without financing in place.
But your financial plan shows you growing with more and more fields in the future, correct?
Right, but each project stands on its own legs.
But in order for you to exist as a corporation, do you have to continuously build these things? What if there's a cutoff at some point in the future where these things are no longer viable? What will you do as a corporation?
So we have different wholly owned subsidiaries within Nexamp. We have a development arm, a construction arm, and we have an asset management arm.
Okay.
So the asset management arm is charged with managing the existing assets.
Gotcha. So Nexamp can exist without further growth in this industry if in fact that happens at a point in the future.
Yeah, I mean, we'd like to continue to grow.
Sure, I understand. Yeah, okay, good to know.
Okay, so administrative review, it's been distributed, timely, seems to satisfy all of the general requirements. The locations, everything is shown on the plan. I sent you this, didn't I? When the checklist I use.
I don't think so, but I did find it in the regulations. So.
Okay, yes, so it's just, it is just the regulations with boxes in front of it. So it shows all of this, electrical schematics, attachment schematics, they're all in there. Proof of liability insurance. Did you give it, well, you probably don't.
Yeah,
that was in
Yeah,
it's in
okay.
Appendix E or F.
Site control, we have that. Utility notification, that actually is something we don't need to even worry about because if you haven't notified them, they're not going to let you in. Showing the land clearing, soil we know is not very permeable. Are there wildlife corridors on this one?
I mean, there's the wetlands on the site, but.
Okay, but no migration routes or anything.
No.
And you're requesting a waiver for 50 feet from the southerly property line?
Yep.
So how close do you intend to go to the southerly property line?
I believe this one is approximately 25, and then the southern one.
Don't talk about that.
There's a property owner southerly line.
Who was the butter?
Oh, these two are.
That's phase 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
So. it's
Same owner?
Same owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We also have a letter in our application submission stating that Wayne would like to do this, and the waiver is fine with him.
Parking, so administrative review satisfied. That's it. Yeah, any other comments? Are you ready for a motion?
I'm not voting for it. I don't feel any day, no.
Do you want to elaborate?
No, I'm just really peeled on that, this guy and the owners on the last thing they put in. To me, it's nothing but a joke.
That's not a grounds to deny this
You can have
project.
whatever ground you want.
Well, you might express to Mitsubishi that we had some concern about the type of visual effect that you promised would not be apparent, is still apparent on Mill Valley Road. I mean, we do these things in good faith, and putting trees this high don't block the view. Come on.
Those trees were installed according to the plans that were approved for that particular project.
Well, we missed it.
But it said it's supposed to be a screening. What does it screen?
We proposed a screening with our application.
What's it screen?
And that screening was approved, and that's what was installed with the project.
Did we approve 1-foot trees, Bill?
I don't know what we approved.
18-inch trees?
The tree plan, there was a planting list and a seed mix and how the things were installed
Yep.
in the plan set.
Yeah, so in that sense, yes, we did approve it because we approved a plan set of a certain date, a certain revision.
Well, I'm disappointed.
You want to say something?
Yeah, if I may, Mr. Chairman, Tom Reedy, attorney with Bacon Wilson, over in Amherst, Peter McConnell's office, and I guess I would just, request the board take a straw vote if they could, so we can see where we stand. We need a supermajority for this vote, and also I would just, remind the board of 48 Section 3, and also that we're looking at this project, and I think, Mr. Michkowski, if you look at the last page, there's some perspectives of what the screening here will look like. We'll certainly take what you've said based on the other project back, certainly. But I would just...
Back where?
We'll take it back to Chris, and we will... part of this is we submitted what we had submitted, and it was approved. Maybe shame on us for not calling out these are the size of the trees. And I think, obviously, from hearing from the board tonight, we've learned from that, and I would expect any future projects not to have that issue with it. So I would just ask you to...
It just brings into question your judgment.
I don't think we have to go there. I will tell you, I have driven down Mill Valley Road, and I haven't even noticed this thing. So from my perspective, it's adequate.
Again, that's your perspective. To mine, it's totally different.
And that is a matter of personal taste.
They come in with a plan here, but you don't show the solar array in actuality.
Actually, I believe they are on there.
There's some perspectives there.
All three of those drawings show the solar panels in place.
Right here?
Yeah, and I think it's somewhat apples and oranges if we're talking about this project versus the other, if I may.
But
you can see where they're proposed here, and I think...
Yeah, that's looking from the sky down.
Right, but I'm also saying that these are the visualizations.
those show the solar panels in place. That's what you will see with the solar
The other one
panels.
you'll actually see.
Where's the solar panels here?
You don't see them.
Right.
Why didn't they put them in here?
They are in there.
Where?
They're not. When they're showing from the target parking lot, is what they're saying. You won't see them.
So they drew this in here.
The solar panels are behind these trees. Actually, they're right over here.
This don't even look like a tree. I don't know.
By the way, you guys know it snowed up in Cummington 2 days ago?
Look like a tree.
Well, you tell them, not me. I didn't draw a picture. This is the way it was
It's a
put in.
picture. We take a picture, it gets put into the system.
What is this? Is this a tree or is this a block of paint?
It's a tree, so that's just how they do 3D
This is
images.
actually what's there?
It's a tree illustrating what's
This looks
there.
like something from the bottom of a lagoon somewhere. I don't know where the heck this is. This is the actual tree?
Yeah.
That's where the tree is. So the visualization.
Is that a rendering or is that a photo?
It's a rendering of what's out there.
I've never seen a tree like that in my life.
Our technology is getting there.
Well-
This is still in the
It's
process.
the way it comes out.
I got to be honest, I think this is probably the best location for a solar field so far that's been done in Hadley. I really do. I mean, the other ones are Mill Valley,
I understand.
the one off of Huntington Road, but I think this is, I wish they would all go in a place like this, quite frankly. So, you want a straw vote?
Thank you. Straw vote is saying you're in favor.
Yeah.
John's against it. I think you're...
No, I'm not maybe against this particular thing. It's what they did, this company and that owner did over there.
Okay.
That's what I don't like. If that was corrected, I would have no problem.
Okay.
Past life, I grew Christmas trees, unfortunately, with my brother-in-law, and it takes about 9 years for them to get to 6
Then we
feet.
say we take a motion.
Yep. Okay. So I will make a motion to approve for site plan approval with solar permit, special permit, with business use in the aquifer special permit, and with a erosion and sediment control permit. Based on a finding, the project satisfies the general purposes of the site plan approval bylaw, harmony with the general purposes and intent of the solar special permit bylaw, not detrimental to the established or future character of the neighborhood. Intended uses are permitted by variance. So this is going to be key to this plan. 4/11/17. Revised 4/11/17. Copies of the application have been distributed as provided by the bylaw. Project satisfies the site plan review criteria to the extent it applies. So for site plan approval, this approval is for the Hadley 3
LLC.
Hadley 3 LLC
North.
Hadley 3 Solar LLC.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Solar
North.
LLC North. As proposed by Nexamp, no sign other than emergency notification is proposed, no outdoor lighting is proposed, no storage trailers allowed, no performance security under site plan approval, as the solar bylaw contains adequate provisions for performance security, subject to approval of other boards if and as required, including but not limited to the Conservation Commission and state agencies. And I understand that there was not a quorum at the Conservation Commission last week, so that's been bumped for a month. And any project changes directed by other boards must be approved by the planning board, reviewed for compliance by an independent consultant, so you get the peer review guy back to verify that you have installed as designed. Solar special permit. Is located in the business district by variance. It will be screened from public ways adequately. Performance security of, actually the last time it was $27,000.
So it's $10,000 per megawatt DC.
Okay.
That's what we proposed.
So 20.
About 20, this is 1.998 megawatts DC, so $19,800.
20,000.
Okay.
The surety account or bond will be managed by the town treasurer's office. Absent notice of proposed decommissioning, the system shall be considered abandoned when it fails to operate for more than 1 year without written consent of the planning board. When it reaches the end of its life, it shall be removed. We've performed an administrative review and find that is in compliance. And we are issuing a solar energy system special permit hereby. And that is the site plan approval, that is the solar, and then business use in the aquifer, we grant a special permit, it's all part of the same motion. Based on the following conditions, the permit is granted to Hadley 3 Solar. Required by the bylaw, the plans show drainage, provisions to prevent soil compaction, provisions to prevent, well, there's no seepage because there are no sewer pipes. No petroleum distillates. no chemicals. Site is, approval is unique to, specific to this tenant, or this tenant, yes. No signage, landscaping installed, maintained, and replaced as shown in the plans. No lighting. No storage trailers back there, subject to approval of other boards. So those are the three. So those are the four really that require special permit for supermajority. Site plan approval, solar installation, business use in aquifer, and erosion and sediment. Erosion, that is a permit, not a special permit. So it's just those three that require.
It's not a special permit? Really?
No, it was just set up as a permit. I don't have the full text there,
Okay.
but
I just want to make sure of that, that's all.
we can put it in.
Yeah, it's not going to matter because you're going to vote for all of them anyway.
And okay, so that's the motion.
Mr. Clerk, if I could, those waivers also,
Oh.
the setback, and then also, I think it was the scale of the plan.
Yeah.
Okay, for from 50 to 25. And that's on the south line.
Correct.
There's also the waiver for the traffic impact statement as well.
Okay, you're right. This is in conjunction with the site plan approval typically, so that's why.
And scaling, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, with waivers for reducing the setback along the southerly property line from 50 feet to 25 feet, waive traffic impact statement, and waive scale.
That is the motion.
Second.
The motion, the second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Abstain.
Oh, you abstain? Okay, motion passes 4-0-1.
Thank you.
All right, the other one.
Okay.
Labels, mailing labels in that one.
Okay. Yeah, we said about the other. Yep.
When we get these things presented, can we just know which way north is?
Yeah.
Is there,
So technically,
but is there anything that shows me there where north is?
It's on the bottom.
Oh, it's on the, barely, yeah, okay, it's on the bottom.
Yeah. Mighty small north arrow.
It is.
Oh, okay.
should I wait until you introduce the project?
We already talked, we
Okay.
read the public hearing for both, so it's up to you to talk
Okay.
with us.
Okay.
And I made the disclosure for both.
This is the north, do you have one for the south?
Right there.
Yeah, right there.
Oh, this is south.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we had two north, I know we had one north, one south. Okay. So where's the other one in conjunction, if you put them both together?
So this is where the northern array would be. And then this is the southern, which is the one that we'll talk about now.
How many acres is this one?
This one is approximately 9 acres.
And the other one was?
9.4. And the other one's 6.07 acres. But the difference between the northern and the southern is, like I said before, the acreage and as well as the access, which is from the South Maple Street. There is some wetlands that are on this site in particular, and we have accommodated for the 35-foot setback. The wetlands are created from the actual drainage well that comes from the northwestern portion of the site that's related to the Hampshire Mall. And we're not proposing to do any work in the wetlands, and obviously that's going through the conservation review right now. I don't think there's anything different from the last project, but it is an existing farm field, and there's screening on all sides of the array area. Fencing is proposed as well, and there's the inverter is the same amount, the same size. It's 533 square feet. We already did the stormwater report, and then for this project in general, we did put the 2 rain gardens associated with the southern portion, southern array, just to show them.
I'm sorry, I was distracted. How many megawatts?
2.65 megawatts DC.
That's the block that's there.
And one thing in particular that is worth mentioning is there was a tree that's right here that the commission wished to keep, and we decided that we would reduce some of the panel size some of the total array size to accommodate for keeping the tree there and the shading issue that would have had. But yeah, for the most part, it's going to be the same wattage. It's just the same. It's just a reduced array acreage.
Okay, and are you asking for a waiver of setback on the north?
Yeah. Yep. Same waivers from the previous one. So waiver for setback of the property line to the north instead of the south. And then the planned requirement size, as well as the traffic impact statement. And we already have the ZBA approval to convert it from business to agriculture.
Just curious, it all seems, why did you break it up into parcel south and parcel north? They're contiguous.
So, so they're 2 separate parcels. They've come in through 2 separate deeds.
Yeah.
And your zoning allows a maximum of, I believe, 10 acres.
Yeah.
So we've limited the bottom, the southerly array to 9.4 and the northerly array to 6.07 acres.
I kind of knew the answer, but
put me through the paces.
Very clever. So it was 2 different deeds.
Yeah, they've come in through, and I can submit it if you'd like, but they've come in through, they came in through 2 different deeds.
Did you work for Pyramid once upon a time?
No, I haven't.
Compar Realty versus...
What, on your last sheet, what is this along?
It's the berm.
That's
Are you
the
talking
berm.
about the picture?
Yeah.
That's like, it's what it almost looks like, is that concrete berm?
No, it's
No.
not.
It's
I don't
a
know why it turned out that way, and I apologize, but it's the same type of berm associated with the detention basin. So they built the detention basin, and it has a berm to it, and then it has the cattails in it, and that's where you get all your stormwater. I'm not clear why it comes out as like a silver.
So I actually think this is a visualization of looking from here there to
It just looks
the
like a
array.
concrete wall.
Yeah, it looks like a concrete wall, yeah.
It's not.
But it's
Trump's wall.
Now, with the wetlands, true, I mean, you haven't gone before the Conservation Commission yet, but it's blue. The last time somebody came in with a blue line there, the Conservation Commission was green, but there is no blue line. Conservation Commission made them move back 200 feet. So is that considered a...
It's not a perennial.
It's not a perennial?
Right.
Yeah.
So 200 feet would be a riverfront off
Yes.
a perennial, and this is not considered
But
that.
that's their argument and your argument. That's not
Well,
before
they've
us.
been to the Conservation
Yeah, we
Commission
have. They've already reviewed that part.
You have?
Yeah, we've
They
been
just-
to one meeting. They asked for some
This, what does it look
some
like
change
from-
in the vegetation
No,
and
right here.
seed mixes and to enhance like one of the buffers in
So
here.
they declared it's not a perennial stream.
This is
Correct, they did not bring that up.
They just didn't have a corridor.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
North end, this is
Because
north.
that has a little bit of a history with the Grand Dame of our Conservation Commission.
Yes, I'm aware. It's not a perennial stream. no.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, people are standing over here, or over here.
So nearest neighbors that would be visible, South Maple Street, just point out for the audience on TV where South Maple Street is.
Right here.
That's
How many
correct.
feet away?
And approximately how many feet from the
I think it's
solar
815.
panels to South Maple Street?
You said
815.
yeah.
Looks like a whole
And
wall.
the whole mall is in the way.
815.
Back of the mall's in the way.
Can you be more exactly?
Yeah.
I can try.
Here.
How many feet from the bike path?
I'm gonna
How much
estimate
measure?
100 feet from at least the road to there, but then from the
The
panels.
bike path's right on the side, adjacent to the road, isn't it?
Yes.
So there's a forested area which is all actually mapped as wetlands, and
There's
then
a
there's
forested area where,
right where south of the actual access road. There's a section say,
Between.
between the
About
actual
tree line
road.
along the farm.
Yeah.
There's a tree line between the road and the bike path.
Through there.
Yeah,
is it what?
Tree line, both sides.
yeah. Just once the railroad stopped maintaining the embankment,
Right.
the right of way, the trees started growing up along
Yeah,
the.
that was one of the problems they had when they redid the bike path a couple of years ago. They
Right.
had an awful lot of roots
Coming through
going
those.
through the
and
bike path, and they had a lot of clearing to do just to get it back to an 8-foot wide or 10-foot
Right.
wide, whatever it was.
So access to that property, once again, for fire department, do they respond, Jim, at all?
No.
No, okay, so they must be happy with it, but where will the access be?
South Maple Street.
South Maple Street?
But I thought when we vote for this, it's all contingent on all of the board's approval.
Correct.
It's automatic.
And it's one of the things Hadley 3 Solar offers any of the emergency personnel in Hadley the ability to go out and walk through to figure out what would happen in case of an emergency, what switches do you shut off, what's the easiest way to access this, et cetera. So that's offered by Nexamp, by Hadley 3 Solar.
And the road is maintained year-round for ambulance, something if there was an accident there?
I don't believe so.
No, it isn't. It's not plowed all the time. There should be nobody out there, so there would be no accident. No one would be working out there. It's
What
fenced
if something
in.
went wrong in the middle of winter there?
Well, we did send the plans, correct, Jim? We send these plans to the fire department?
Well, I'm asking a question.
No, but my question is, did we send them to the fire department?
Yes, we did.
Yes, okay, and they did not
Police and
respond.
fire got copies.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they can answer this question. If something happened to one of your employees there, how do you get an ambulance in there?
Well, I wouldn't have it, there would be no employees there in the winter. If there's work during the summer, the road is open. So the only time of the year that it might not be open is during the winter. If there was a heavy snow, it would not be plowed out to the array at that time.
And if someone went out to work out there, how would they get out there?
It would have to,
If we had access to the arrays during the winter, we'd plow the road at that point to access the arrays, which
Right.
would then open it up for access to a first responder if an emergency situation were to arise.
But if you don't plow it continuously, you're gonna have 5 or 6, you could have 5 or 6 feet of snow out there. It's gonna be tough to plow.
Is there any reason for anybody to work on that in the off-season?
If some sort of fault were detected, yeah, potentially, but again, we would look at the benefit costs of plowing the road, accessing it, depending on how much snow.
You got a problem, Johnny, we'll go in on snowshoes.
I don't think so. Snowshoes, yeah.
Any other questions? You want to go through the?
So the waivers are the setback, traffic control,
some plans on.
Scale.
Here's the
Scale of the plans.
and the report.
Correct.
same ones. Yeah, it's the same, almost the same comments verbatim as to the first one.
Who did the review, Jim?
Doucette.
Doucette, okay. In a timely fashion.
Well, we got it back May 4th, which was yes, 2 weeks ahead of time.
We told them it had to be in. There was a new rule.
And it worked.
Are you adding any plantings around that area?
Part of the conservation is the mitigation plantings, which will be on this side of the array.
What kind of plants are you putting there? You've got some kind of a bush here in the back here, right?
Yeah, they're low-lying shrubs for the most part, because that's what's already out there. Yeah.
There's a list of the wildlife mix that comes in, a solar array mix, and a New England wet mix. So each one of those has a different set of plants.
So then the shrubs, it looks like there's gonna be buttonbush, dogwood, winterberry, and common elderberry, which are all approximately 6 foot or less shrubs. So those will be adequate screening.
Yeah, I don't think that site can be seen.
What is the purpose of those plants out there?
So
mitigation.
Yeah, it's part of the mitigation
Wetlands.
in the Conservation Commission.
Conservation wetlands.
Yeah.
You didn't go in front of the conservation?
So the project already did, we're just waiting to go back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Mr. Dwyer?
So, given that we have, the entire audience consists of people connected with the project.
I vote you do not have to read everything.
I will say that we are, I'm going to just put same as north on the administrative review.
Real shortcuts.
You really want to hear me talk?
Absolutely. Earn your dollar. No, that's
And I am going to make the same motion as I made for north, substituting south,
And that it will
including the waivers.
for from the northerly
Yes.
array to the property line.
Yeah.
To reiterate, what I like about this is you're not taking Paradise and putting up a parking lot. Okay? This is a great place for this.
Almost was a super Walmart, Mike.
Well, that's before my time.
almost a simple one, I don't think so.
That wasn't the site, was it, Wayne?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was Super Walmart, right?
But at least
The upper one, the upper section, well, they're kind of like the both of them.
Joe, at least you collect a hell of a lot of more tax on Super Walmart than solar arrays.
Well, that's why we made it to exclude solar array from the business district, so we could have more taxes, more bricks and mortar.
So
the zoning board of appeals overruled us.
Good.
So I'm making the same motion again.
Correct.
If substituting south for north.
That is the motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
And one abstention. Motion passes 4-0-1.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, except that Department of Security is going to be $27,000 for this.
Yes.
Yeah, almost.
Yes. You know.
Okay, Mike, we aren't adjourned.
Yeah, he knows. He knows.
He's taking a break. Calm down. Thank you.
So, okay, just, Jim, I'd like to make kind of one editorial comment to John and to Mike. Certain things that obviously you're not pleased with in the solar bylaw, and if you want to make some corrections for a town meeting,
maybe we should kind of think of what you would like to see that would make it better and what could get past the Attorney General. That could be something we could talk to Larry about when he comes in next time.
No, I was just ticked off at the last project what they did.
Well, that's a legitimate concern. I totally agree.
Did you go by there and look at that?
But, you know, but part of it is sometimes we miss those things.
Same outfit,
We missed
same
it.
owner.
We should have required the trees to be taller.
Yeah, well, you know, the
You know,
bylaw,
they show you a picture, but really that picture is not.
No, they
It's not
have
really
the
accurate.
height of the trees, but
Not accurate.
part of it may be our fault too. That's.
Okay, this,
I thought it was never.
That's one's north, one's south.
okay, this is north, so that is south.
This is south.
Okay.
Yep.
I just had to let them know I was not happy with it.
So because of the mix-up with the agenda, I think that's about all we can do. Unless we want to handle that as part of the administrative.
Yeah, this is just to pay an
What
invoice.
about the peer review that was supposed to be on the agenda? Is that on there?
That's on the agenda.
It's on the agenda, and unfortunately, the agenda was misposted.
Oh, so that's not on there.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything except, the only reason we could handle these two was that when Jim sent a copy of the legal notice to the newspaper, to Jessica, and she posted
I
it.
did all that research anticipating.
You have to wait for 3 weeks.
I know, I just can't hold it back. I'm gonna have to do some more fishing to relax.
You'll be able to recite it from memory next time.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to pay the Gazette.
179.76 for legal notices of recreational, that was for the zoning notices in the newspaper for the town meeting.
79.76.
Motion a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
stairs once the weather gets hot and we don't have any air conditioning in here? Or?
That'll be up to, they're supposedly, possibly gonna put, there's some air conditioners available if they decide to get them into these windows. I'm not sure what you're gonna do. Are they gonna be upstairs or downstairs? Do you know yet?
Last I heard, they weren't sure whether the electric would handle an air conditioner.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
But it will, because this whole place is not in operation, so they could, for night meetings, they could do that.
That's probably true.
Yeah, I don't think you need more than a 5,000 BTU in here just to make it livable.
Right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think they make some pretty efficient air conditioners these days, don't they? Like, they don't, you know.
Well, we got one in our office that's been in there for years that they gave us that we could put in our office. We never need it, which is, 2 doors down. So that one could easily be, somebody wanted to put it, if they could somehow get it put in a window. Only problem is these windows aren't exactly the most.
No. When we had the sewer commission meeting there, we put an air conditioner, a big one in there.
Well,
And, I mean, it operated from 7 o'clock on.
that's true.
Yeah, I think you just have to take out one of the windows, put in a
I don't know if
plywood
that thing is
sleeve.
still in there, because it was in a window. I made a frame for it.
Yep.
It was in a window in that old sewer department
Okay.
place there.
So, okay, thank you. Couple general pieces of information, and we can address it at our next meeting because we have time, is that they're requesting a different code of accounts for our budgets, which for us is pretty good because we only have, I think, 5 lines, but some of the engineering groups, or some of the departments that have many, many lines. I'll put something together for the next meeting because this is in our mailbox today, and they got a different code of accounts compared to what we have today. Okay, so be it. And they want to know what amounts do we want on the different codes, and I think, like I said, we only have 5 codes, so that's easy enough. That's that. I think we should probably wait and hold off on requesting the $7,600 transfer till next agenda meeting.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's all we can talk about. Motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is history. Thank you, and thank you, TV5.